Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Pokemon Blue Deluxe Nuzlocke. I am Adarum, and as you can see, we are actually starting out today's episode in Celadon City. So what happened between episodes is I went ahead and fought all the trainers in between Lavender Town and here, because I figured there wasn't really much on those routes worth showing. It was just a bunch of random trainers, and there were no evolutions of anybody on my team, so I figure, you know, you guys don't really need to see that, and if I did all that on camera, that would have been just a bunch more stuff I would have had to show in this little sped up montage here. I did not do any catches on those two routes. There are some patches of grass which were completely skippable, so I will be going back after we do some stuff in this video. Namely, we are going to take on, after we beat all these Team Rocket grunts, we will take on Giovanni, after which we can take on Erica, the 4th gym leader, and then we will head back that direction towards Lavender Town, because I did mention, I think last episode, that I wanted to go ahead and catch my Litwick, and I still want to do that this episode. It's just I realized that we won't be able to do that until we get the Silph Scope, which we don't get until we get through the rocket base here, and I had kind of forgotten about that. We can actually run into the Pokemon Tower and fight our rival whenever we want, but if you try and go up to higher levels, you will end up running into the ghost rather than running into actual Pokemon. So, I did realize that we're going to have to do this stuff first. That does mean we're probably going to end up having like 3 what I would call major battles in this episode, but that's fine. I'm a little worried the next episode might just be full of random trainer battles. It depends on how long it takes, because we will have, we got a lot of random trainers to get through. There's all the trainers on the route between Lavender and Fuchsia City, as well as the bike path. Cycling Road, that's what it's called. Why did I call it the bike path? Oh, by the way, you'll see me backtracking here because I forgot to grab the the elevator key when I went through there the first time. I fought the trainer and beat him, and I forgot you had to talk to him again to get that lift key. And I think we should be getting to the end of this little sped up segment. I believe we've got 2 more trainers to fight. Yeah, go ahead and run in here and fight these 2 guys, and then run back and heal. And then that'll bring us back over here to fight Giovanni after we run up here and heal real quick before we die of poison. So yeah, let's get this fight with Giovanni over with. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and lead with Fenyon for this fight because I'm not quite sure what to expect from Giovanni, and I guess he doesn't have much to say here. But he is kind of known as a ground type leader. Spoilers, he is a gym leader, I guess. I don't know if that's really spoilers to anybody, but I did expect some kind of ground type coming out here, and it is an Onix that knows Earthquake. That's going to do quite a fair bit. That shouldn't be super effective, though. You know what? I think I know why it said super effective, because some of the type matchups, especially dealing with dual types, do have some issues in the original Red, Blue, and Yellow games, wherein it will show you, it'll tell you that the move is super effective when in reality it's a neutral, because it only takes one type into consideration when it displays that text, I guess, or something along those lines. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I think Giovanni usually has a Persian here. I guess he has a Kangaskhan. Okay, Kangaskhan could be a little concerning here. Let's stay in. It is a fairly powerful Pokemon. Let's Leech Seed it. Comet Punch is a multi-hit move, I believe. I was expecting maybe a Body Slam. A same type attack bonus Body Slam could have been pretty problematic for us. And our Leech Seed missed. Do we want to go for it again? I think we can risk that. Bite is not going to do too much. I'm not too worried about that. So we get our Leech Seed off. Let's get Poison Powder up as well. It goes for another Bite, which is rather stupid of it. I would really expect it to have a better normal type move to hit us with, but I guess not. I will take this opportunity to heal up real quick, though, because I think we can use it. I don't think I mentioned this, but I think between episodes I bought some more items, or maybe I did that at the end of last episode. It was probably during the sped up segment. Something along those lines. Anyways, oh, I guess we missed the poison. I was going off my tangent or something like that, and I completely missed that we didn't even, hit it with the poison. That's okay. We're still sapping its health with that Leech Seed. It is going to have fairly high stats for this point in the game because it is a non-evolving Pokemon. And I feel like a lot of pure normal type Pokemon, especially in the early generations, did have fairly high defensive stats, probably to make up for the fact that normal types are not super effective against anything and they aren't really good against anything. They kind of get used as kind of all-rounders that are fairly bulky and good at just about everything. And it looks like this next round we will finish this thing off unless he uses a Hyper Potion. Okay. So I think I was talking last episode about how it seems like trainers don't use potions, but it looks like some of them do. So that is nice to see. And is Comet Punch just a 2-hit move? Because I know there are some like that. I guess not. Okay, that answered that question, and you can stop right there. Because I know I think Double Slap might actually be just a 2-hit move, or maybe I'm thinking of something else there. Alright, let's not risk it. Let's put another potion on Fenyon here. And I guess this Giovanni fight was just going to be the Fenyon show, which was fine. I think last episode we had the Randan show. It seems like certain Pokemon are kind of in the spotlight for some of these battles, but Fenyon's probably not going to be of much use to us in the gym fight because it is a grass-type gym. I really would have appreciated having that Litwick that I wanted to catch if we could have gotten it before the gym. And in fact, why don't we do that? We could do that. Yeah, let's do that. For some reason I was thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna do this all while I'm already here in Celadon City, but honestly, we could just go over to Lavender Town and do the Pokemon Tower, and then come back here and fight the gym. I think we'll do that. I think we will do that. So, I will meet you guys. Actually, I'm not gonna meet you guys anywhere. We're gonna walk back up here, heal up, and then I guess I'm gonna meet you guys back out on the route next to Celadon so we can get some catches in. Alright, here we go. We're on the route to the right of Celadon. I feel like I don't really have a good way to distinguish these routes because we don't get the little pop-ups, and I can't really tell you what route it is because I don't know, because I can't really memorize the numbers of all these routes. Anyways, the first encounter we're going to see is a Bellsprout, so that is Dupe's Claws number 1. And we've got a Growlithe, which is pretty neat. I know I am anticipating that Litwick, which will be probably my fire type of choice. But I will take a Growlithe as well. That could be a useful backup fire type in case something happens to my Litwick, or in case for some reason I decide not to use it, which I don't really see happening. I mean, I know that normally one of the issues you might have with a Litwick is evolving it all the way, because I know that normally it does not evolve unless you have a Dusk Stone. Although in this hack, I don't think we have Dusk Stones because they are a new item I guess they didn't want to implement. So instead, I believe you use a Moonstone, and I think we have a couple of those. So we should be okay. Okay, and one more Great Ball later, we caught the Growlithe. You may notice I used Poison there because I don't really have another status on my team right now to use. I did have Bress's Sleep Powder, but I don't have Bress on the team right now, so I had to make do. Alright, so Caballard, the Growlithe, will be heading to our PC. We may end up using him at some point. I don't know yet. So of course you may notice that we have Cagile, our Purloin, back in the team. That is because we need to use Cut over here. And I think we're going to have to use Cut to get to the gym as well, so we'll probably have to keep her on the team a little bit longer as well. I believe the catch encounters are usually about the same for this route as they were for that other one, because I know this is usually where you would catch Growlithe or Vulpix, depending on what game you're playing. In fact, I think Vulpix is usually the blue exclusive, and there we go! There's a Vulpix, and now we're going to have quite the abundance of fire types, which is good, because we were having some issues dealing with steel types, so now we have a couple answers to that, and we can pick and choose which of those we want to use. Probably going to be using Litwick though, assuming I get one. I mean, I keep talking about Litwick, but I mean, I'm with a 90% chance to pick one up. I think it's pretty likely we will. Okay, so Vine Whip was not a bad choice there. We still didn't do too much. And I think I will go ahead and just drop that Poison Powder here as well, if we can land it. And I don't know, why did I go for Leech Seed on top of that? I probably should have just gone for the Poison Powder on its own, but oh well. And there we go. That Vulpix got a burn off on me, which is kind of annoying, so I had to use a potion. I kind of hate to do that in wild Pokemon encounters, but oh well. I think we have a decent amount of money now, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Alright, so there's Brintak the Vulpix, and I think we're kind of gathering up quite the collection of Pokemon in our box. We've gone quite a while already. I mean, I know we're only 4 episodes in, but in terms of actual game length, we've actually gone quite a ways without having any kind of deaths or anything like that, so that is a good thing. We'll go ahead and heal up and then pop into Pokemon Tower and take on our rival, and then I think we'll go ahead and just go through the entirety of Pokemon Tower, probably speed through all that stuff, and yeah. I mean, after we get our encounter, that is. And what is our rival going to lead with? I know he has a Gyarados usually. We don't really have any electric types to counter that with. I think Fenneon is usually a safe bet. Of course, Fenneon is also our highest level Pokemon, so that should be good. So we'll see what he sends out. If he sends out a Gyarados, at least we don't have to worry about any incoming flying attacks because Gyarados can't learn any. It is a Pidgeotto, so we do have to worry about incoming flying attacks. So let's get out of there in a hurry. So we should probably send out. Let's go. Grandan's always a good bet. We can hit it with Hyper Fang and probably knock it out in like 1 or 2 hits. Stand attack is kind of annoying though because Hyper Fang has a lower accuracy. I want to say it's like 85 or 90 or something like that. So yeah, those stand attacks are going to get a little bit annoying. That did quite a bit, so we can just go for a quick attack and finish it off. Luckily hit that one. And then the next thing he's going to send out is going to be Tentacool. Okay, that's different. I don't think in the default game he would have any of that stuff. And I just realized that I still have my accuracy drop, so maybe I should have switched Randan out, which I will do right now. But yeah, in the default game, if your rival does not have his own water type from his starter, I think normally he would pick up... What would he normally pick up? I want to say a Slowbro? Maybe I'm mistaken on that one. I know he would get an Executor, depending on what starter he ended up getting. But I'm not sure what water type he usually filled that slot with. But it definitely was not a Tentacool. So it's nice to see something different, although it would have been nice to see some non-Kanto Pokemon from him. There's a Scyther. Ooh, that's definitely different. I wonder if we're going to be seeing a Scizor from him later on. If so, this abundance of fire types we're picking up will be incredibly helpful. That did a decent chunk, and I guess we have a speed type, or did he use quick attack that first turn? I think he might have used quick attack. I'm hoping we get a better flying move on Jadak sometime soon, because Peck is just not cutting it right now. Okay, Kadabra. Yeah, Randan is probably a safe bet for that. It's only level 20, wow, okay. So yeah, now that we got those accuracy drops gone, we can go ahead and hit it with a Hyper Fang and knock it out in 1 hit. Because Kadabra's physical defense is pathetic. And his last Pokemon is, of course, that Charmeleon. And we do have Gandok, our new secret weapon, to take out that Charmeleon. Because I feel like for quite a while we didn't really have anything to deal with this Charmeleon. And of course, it seems to be a theme with our rival here that he's using accuracy dropping moves, which is incredibly irritating. I suppose it's probably not an intentional theme. It's probably just, coincidence that a lot of Pokemon learn Sand Attack at lower levels, and therefore a lot of his Pokemon, which will have level up movesets, are going to have that kind of move. And we're going to keep missing here, which is irritating. I'm kind of wondering, what level does Shellos evolve at? Like I've said before, I haven't really used one very often, or at all actually. So I'm not quite sure what level it evolves at, but once we do get it evolved, we will be getting some ground type moves as well, so that'll be nice to have that coverage. Or at least we'll be getting ground typing. I would assume that we'd be getting some ground type moves with that. And we're having a hard time landing these water guns. I feel like we had an easier time landing Hyper Fang through the accuracy drops than we had landing this water gun here. I think we can handle one more Ember. He's not really doing too much. Does he not have any normal type moves? That's kind of weird. And there we go. We finally landed that last water gun. That took a little bit longer than I thought it would. Alright, and with that rival fight done, let's go ahead and hop on up to the next floor, because I think we can't catch anything on this floor. And I swear, if we get some other than a Litwick, I am going to be pretty upset. I'm going to be pretty upset, because I have been hyping up this Litwick. It would just be so awesome, because then I'd have basically half of my dream team. Because I would have Venusaur, I would have Galvantula eventually, and then I'll also have a Chandelure. That would just be awesome. Okay, so it looks like we might have to fight this trainer real quick before we head up that way. Or this is not actually a trainer. Of course, she's giving us a little hint about the Sylph Scope and the fact that you're going to need it if you want to head up this way. And let's see if we can run into something. There we go. There's that Litwick. I had a moment of panic when I was like, oh crap, it's going to be a Ghastly, and I'm going to be so disappointed. I mean, Ghastly is great and all, but it's not a Litwick. But of course it is a Litwick, so we will happily take that. Let's go ahead and drop the status on it and then try and catch it. And there we go, 3 Great Balls later, and we have our Litwick to now joining our team. Okay, so here's Korik, the Litwick, who will be joining our team. I'm gonna run back and switch things up real quick before we continue on here, and then we're gonna get through Pokemon Tower. Alright, so this will be a quick little run through Pokemon Tower. It did go by pretty quick, and this is probably the shortest sped up segment I've had so far in the series. So I don't really have a chance to talk about too much here, but the one thing that I had some serious problems with in this area, well, first off is Litwick, which actually learns Minimize. I don't know if that's something it normally learns or if that's just in this hack or something. But holy cow, these Litwicks, these wild Litwicks, and the ones owned by trainers just abusing that Minimize and just making it impossible to hit them, and you know, just over and over and over again. It's just so annoying. And it's not even like you can switch out to get rid of that or anything like that. And I mean, I think the only non-missing move in this generation is Swift. So even if we had Swift, we wouldn't be able to hit it, I don't think. So yeah, incredibly annoying. But the other thing was the fact that we don't really have much to hit Ghastlies and Haunters with right now. I've been mostly just trying to hit them with whatever neutral moves we have, but we don't have any ground type moves, and I didn't have a Deluba at a good enough level to bring him out for. I did realize after all of this that Kadabra will actually learn Psybeam at level 27, but I didn't realize that before we did this whole segment. Otherwise I would have gone ahead and just leveled him up and put him on our team to use through this area here. But yeah, you'll notice that I did make a beeline for that healing area as soon as possible, because I did want to make sure we had those free heals available, and I also skipped some trainers, but oh well, that's okay. Holy moly! Okay, I wasn't originally planning on commentating over this fight, but we are coming back into live commentary now because level 40. Normally this thing's level 30. Level 40. Holy crap, this is not good. I was not ready for this. Oh, our Pokemon aren't even level 30 yet. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Tail Whip, okay, it's gonna drop my defense. Let's see how much a Water Gun does. Not very much. It's gonna keep dropping my defense. What is this thing trying to do? I wonder if... Oh, we can hope that maybe it doesn't have any good attacking moves, I guess? I don't know. This could be tricky. This could be pretty tricky. We're sending Fenyon here. It's gonna go with Headbutt. That did a decent chunk. That hurt quite a bit. Okay, let's pull a Leech Seed out. It's gonna leer us up. Okay, Leech Seed, pull that off. We can start draining its health a little bit. And I think we need to switch out of there after it just used Leer on us. What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? I don't know. This is a tricky one. I don't know if it's gonna have any ground type moves. It just used Headbutt on us. It's used Leer and it used Tail Whip. So it only has one other attacking move. This is a risk. This is a really big risk. I'm counting on it having level up moves, and I'm counting on its level up moves not being very good. Because obviously we've seen it has Tail Whip and it has Leer. It has both of those moves. They do the same thing. So obviously the person who hacked this game didn't put a whole lot of thought into this guy's moveset. Obviously it's tough. Obviously it's a really high level. But Headbutt again, okay, it still hasn't pulled out a ground type move. If it does pull out, I don't know, Bone Meringue, is that even a thing in this generation? If it pulls that out, we're done for. But it seems like we're doing okay so far. We're getting that Leech Seed, helping whittle him down, and Ember, and it looks like one more turn. And he used Leer. Okay, sweet. Okay. Oh man, I saw that level 40 and I was like, oh crap, I was having flashbacks to the red Gyarados in my silver run. For those of you who don't know, that red Gyarados just about ended my run there. Knocked out over half of my team, and I just wasn't expecting it. And here, you know, this thing's level 40. That's even higher level in comparison than, you know, I was at that point in the game. But anyways, we did defeat that Marowak. I wonder if we could have caught it. I guess we probably couldn't have according to the Nuzlocke rules, though, so that's a moot point anyway. Oh, and I guess our team is still in fighting shape here, so let's go ahead and just finish off these rocket grunts up here. And let's actually put... I brought Doluba with me because I was thinking that he would be useful against the ghost types, the ghost poison types. And then I never really got a chance to train him up because I've been trying to train up our new team member. And none of these rocket grunts should prove too much of a trouble. I don't even know what that guy said because I skipped past the text too fast. And I believe we have one or two more here once this guy finishes walking off the screen. It looks like this might be the last guy, unless there's a guy up there by Mr. Fuji. Did I even mention that's what we're doing? We're rescuing Mr. Fuji? Because I feel like the main goal of me coming in here was to get my Litwick. I'm still so happy that I got a Litwick. Yeah, definitely, Chandelure is definitely one of my favorite Pokemon, so I'm really happy to see that. And I'm looking forward to when we get to a point where we can get our Joltik evolved. Again, level 36, which is going to be a while from now. And anyways, I think Mr. Fuji... Oh, by the way, we're poisoned from one of those fights. I think we're good in health, though, so we should be okay. But we're going to get the Poke Flute, which we can use to awaken a sleeping Snorlax. And we could end up catching it if we really wanted to. Although I'm a little worried about Snorlax because it is a very tough Pokemon. It has very high defensive stats and it has a very high attacking stat. So I feel like if we tried to wake it up and catch it, we may end up losing some Pokemon there. So I think it might be better just to knock them out. Although I guess we'll see. But for now, I think the last thing we have to do this episode, assuming we still have time, is take on the gym. Before we get to that, though, I do think we want to get everybody evened out in levels, so specifically Doluba and Korik are going to need to get up to par with everybody else, and I think everybody else is just about fine. So I'm going to grind them up some levels real quick, and then I'll meet you guys back over in Celadon City where we can take on Erica. Alright, so I got the rest of this video edited already, so I believe we're about up to the 20 or 21 minute mark, so we should be okay to take on the gym this episode. I went ahead and took on all the random trainers already while I was training up our team members. You'll notice I don't have my Litwick on my team because I realized that Litwick does not evolve until level 41. Like, I love Generation 5, but all of the Pokemon just evolve so late. We had the same problem with Joltik, so it's going to be a little while before we can really add both of those to our team. So in the meantime, I brought Caballard onto the team and went ahead and evolved him. And you'll notice I also evolved Sorrow because we did pick up the evolution stones. You can actually buy all of them in the department store in Celadon City, including the Link Stone, which is actually the way that you go ahead and evolve Pokemon that usually evolve by trade evolution. You can also buy the Moonstone and the Sunstone if you don't have them, so that is always nice. Especially nice because usually the Sunstone and Moonstone are not items that can be picked up in stores. So we're having a bit of issue here because Victory Bell has Wrap, which is, as I think I mentioned before in this series, a move that is going to keep on hitting us until it wears off or until we switch out probably. And we're also poisoned, so all that chip damage is kind of taking effect. And we're not finishing this thing off quick enough, despite being evolved, because all we have is Ember. And, yeah, because there aren't any other Fire-type moves we can get. I don't believe there's a Flamethrower TM. Growlithe wouldn't learn Flamethrower until level 50. And Fire Blast, the TM for Fire Blast, we get in the Cinnabar Gym, or we can get it, I think we can buy it in... right before we take on the Elite Four. So basically, we don't have many options for actually picking up that TM. So we're stuck with Ember. I haven't looked at the level up moveset for Litwick, so maybe we can get something better there. Alright, so she's bringing out her Tangela. I think we want to switch out because of that poison. Luckily, it's not toxic poison or something like that, but yeah, we do have a couple of options for taking on grass types, so we should be okay. This thing's a little bit lower level 24. That's kind of surprising. You'd expect it to kind of be up there with everything else. And it's only using Constrict, which is an incredibly, incredibly weak attack. I feel like it has like a 10 base power, which is just sad. It's just sad. Also, it seems like when AI trainers use potions and other items, they actually are based off of speed, because as you noticed, her potion didn't take effect until after we get attacked. So that's kind of weird. That's a weird little quirk that I never really noticed before. Alright, so our last Pokemon is going to be a Blossom. That's different. And also that is a pure grass type. So let's leave Jadak in. I was originally planning on bringing out Sorrow to take on one of the grass poison types, because we did get him evolved, but I might not do that because we aren't going to get super effective damage on this Blossom. Drain Punch. That is not a move you usually see a Blossom use, especially because it's a physical move, and Blossom is not a physical attacker. Not in the slightest. Okay, and as you can see here, that potion did go first because we are paralyzed, so we're slower. So yeah, that's an interesting little thing. I wonder, does that apply to us as well? Because I'm pretty sure our potions just take effect as soon as we use them. So yeah. Anyways, pretty easy fight there. We had some concerns with the Wrap coming off that Victory Bell combined with the poison. If that was toxic poison, we would have had to do a lot more switching, but luckily it was not. I do believe Koga will actually use Toxic on us, because I believe he's the one who actually gives us a Toxic TM. Ooh, and Giga Drain will be a nice addition to our roster. We should be okay with that poison there. Although we should be getting Razor Leaf pretty soon here. In fact, I'm surprised we haven't gotten it yet. It must be level 30 that I was thinking of that we get that at. Let me just check, because I'm overly worried about this. We are good. I think poison takes like 1 HP per step. But anyways, we're about to wrap up this episode here because we've done quite a bit. And actually, I've recorded this episode over a couple of days because there's so much stuff going on in it. But yeah, in the next episode, we've got a lot of trainers to get through, and I did not mean to talk to you again. We got all the trainers between here and Fuchsia City on both sides. We got Cycling Road over there. We got all the routes over south of Lavender, and we also have we can pick up an Eevee in Celadon City here, and we will have the option to evolve that into whichever one of the evolutions we want to, not just the Generation 1 ones. So I guess if you guys have any opinion on which evolution you want me to pick up, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I was originally thinking Vaporeon, because Vaporeon is a water type and we didn't have a water type before. But now we do have a water type in Shellos and eventually Gastrodon. So I guess we don't necessarily need that. So I might go Sylveon just because it's the newest of them, and it also fills that fairy type niche that I don't think we have filled yet. Although we do have a fairy type attack on one of our Pokemon. But anyways, I've rambled on enough. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next episode of the Pokemon Blue Deluxe Nuzlocke.